Why do some countries go to war while others negotiate? Why do elections shake the global economy? Why do superpowers rise and fall? The answer lies in one powerful field of study: political science. Welcome to the channel. Today, we're breaking down the engine behind every headline you see: political science. Forget dry textbooks. This is the science of power, how it's won, how it's used, and how it shapes your life, your country, and the entire world. From the University of Washington to the University of the Punjab, top political science departments define this field as the systematic study of government, politics, and power at every level: local, national, and global. But here's the twist: political science isn't just about politicians. It's about you. It's about why your vote matters, why your taxes go up, and why a decision in Washington can trigger a crisis in the Middle East. Political science is built on 4 core pillars. Master these, and you'll start seeing patterns in the chaos of global news. First, institutions. These are the rules of the game. Parliaments, courts, constitutions, bureaucracies, they're the structures that decide who gets what, when, and how. Think about the US Congress, or Pakistan's Supreme Court, or the European Union. These aren't just buildings, they're engines of power. And when they break down, so does stability. Second, behavior. This is where psychology meets politics. Why do people vote the way they do? Why do mobs form? Why do leaders take huge risks? Political behavior studies everything from voter turnout to protests, to the rise of populism. It explains why a single speech can ignite a revolution or calm a nation. Third, theory. This is the philosophy behind the power. What is justice? What makes a government legitimate? Should freedom come before security? From Plato to Machiavelli to modern thinkers like John Rawls. Democracy, authoritarianism, socialism, they all start as ideas. Fourth, and for this channel, the most critical: international relations. This is the study of how countries interact. Alliances, trade wars, sanctions, nuclear deterrence, global institutions like the UN. IR explains why the US and China are locked in a tech Cold War. Why Russia invades Ukraine. Why India balances between Moscow and Washington. It's the chessboard of global power. Right now, the world is in turmoil. Wars in Europe and the Middle East. Climate crises. Economic inequality. The rise of AI. And at the center of it all, political science. Look at the US Department of Political Science at the University of Washington. They emphasize understanding institutions and practices that shape public life and the methods to study them scientifically. Or the University of the Punjab's Political Science Department, which trains students to analyze governance, policy, and international dynamics in a region that's a geopolitical hotspot. These aren't just academic exercises. They're survival tools. Because if you don't understand the forces driving global politics, we're just reacting to headlines. But if you do, you can predict them. So how do political scientists actually study this? They don't just read news. They use methods from history, statistics, psychology, and even computer science, observational studies, historical analysis, cross-country comparisons, big data, game theory. These tools help them test hypotheses about why wars start, why democracies fail, and how policies succeed or crash. For example, why did the Soviet Union collapse? Political scientists didn't just guess. They analyzed economic data, elite behavior, public opinion, and institutional decay. And they found patterns that repeat today in Venezuela, in Russia, even in parts of the West. Let's make this concrete. 3 examples. 1. The US election. Political science explains voter behavior, campaign strategy, media influence, and the Electoral College's quirks. 2. The India-Pakistan rivalry. It's not just about borders. It's about nuclear deterrence, domestic politics, historical grievances, and great power competition between the US, China, and Russia. 3. Climate change. Why do some countries act and others block progress? Political science reveals the role of lobbying, public opinion, international agreements, and the tension between short-term politics and long-term survival. Here's the big picture. Political science is evolving. It's no longer just about states. It's about tech giants, social media algorithms, cyber warfare, and global supply chains. New subfields are emerging: digital governance, environmental politics, the politics of AI. The next generation of leaders won't just study votes and treaties. They'll study data, disinformation, and decentralized power. And that's why this matters to you. Whether you're a student, a professional, or just someone trying to make sense of the world, political science gives you the lens to see through the noise. If this video opened your eyes, hit like, subscribe for more deep dives into the forces shaping our world, and drop a comment. What global event do you want us to break down next using political science? Because in a world of chaos, knowledge is power, and power, that's what we're here to decode.